Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Noah Unleashed. If you're new here, hi, I'm Melball. I like watching Japanese wrestling, and this is Noah Unleashed, a weekly news and review show where I talk about my favorite Japanese wrestling company, Pro Wrestling Noah. If you're not new here, welcome back to the glorious chaos, and that is your Melball. It has been a slightly less chaotic beginning of November. I've got back to my regular classes. I don't have any extra rehearsals or anything, which is good because it's just in time for this tournament that is starting on this night that we're going to talk about, which is the Star Navigation show from November 8th, which saw the beginning of the Noah Grand Prix Tournament. But before we talk about the show, you guys, I need you to like the video, subscribe to OLE, and turn on notifications to be alerted every time we drop a new video. So without further ado, let's get into the show. Again, we are talking about the November 8th Star Navigation show where the main event is Kenta taking on Yoshiki Inamura. We've also got the GHC Tag Team Championships on the line. Hank and Tank are challenging Team 2000X's Masa Kitamiya and Takashi Sugiura, the chairman and the godfather. So let's get into it, you guys, because also on top of that, we got the tournament starting. And unlike the last tournament that we did where it was a point system, this one is just a one and done style elimination tournament of matches. So we open up the show with Kaito Kiyomiya coming out for the first time, not the last time, which is nice, coming out to welcome three of the newest members to the young bloods, young guys. I don't know what they call their young guys, but we got three new trainees. We got Midori Takahashi, we got Kaito, this one I'm going to struggle with, Kaito. I was doing this while I was practicing the name before. Kaito Tsuruya. I'm going to have to work on that one. And Yuto Koyanagi. I'm very excited always to see new guys. And of course, they got a taste of what is in store for them later on in the show. So we're gonna talk about it. So we're gonna get into match number 1. This was the second time we saw Kaito Kiyomiya this night because he went into the back and came right back out with his All Rebellion stablemate Harutoki, as well as Muhammad Yone taking on Kenoh, Naomichi Marufuji, and Jack Morris. So Kenoh and Kiyomiya throwing hands and feet at each other from the get-go, and a little bit before the match even started, these guys not too happy with each other. It makes me wonder how they coexisted before ever on a team together. Although I will add on to my observation from the last time I mentioned Marufuji and Kenoh, I miss the reluctancy of their tag team camaraderie. Now that they're kind of getting along with each other, I miss the chaos. So, Marufuji and Yone in playing the crowd, getting them to cheer a little bit, doing the taunt, the disco taunt. Marufuji not interested, just chopping Yone. And Yone returns those chops right on back. Harutoki in with those kicks in the corners. I have to maybe ask one of the commentators directly what he's saying. Shibbidi-bop, shibbidi-bop, shibbidi-bop. It's cute. Anyway, on Marufuji in the corner, but Marufuji outsmarting Harutoki and grabbing the foot, feeding him some kicks and chops of his own. So there's a Falcon Arrow by Morris, and this is where the speed really kicked up in the match. We got Kiyomiya in with his flying forearm on Morris, but Morris winning a strike exchange and then hitting a good-looking knee. We also got a frog splash at one point that I didn't write down. I don't know why. Silly girl. So finish here comes with the big lariat and drop kick for 2. Then the sandwich kick by Marufuji and Kenoh, followed by the BMS, which is that double stomp neck twist combo on Muhammad Yone for the big win to open up the show. Post-match, we got Kenoh and Kiyomiya again just getting in each other's faces and getting everything kind of set up for the December 7th show, which is going to happen in 1 month-ish time. interesting that they have so many kind of angles going with Kenoh here. The interesting tag team camaraderie going on with Marufuji. Then he's kind of got this like little distraction with Kiyomiya. And then later on, we're going to see Kiyomiya also has another little distraction coming his way. Poor guy. I gotta wonder again, because this is the second time, but not the last time we're going to see Kiyomiya this night, which again, not a problem with me. What I am concerned about and what I am confused about is again, what is the direction that we want to go with Kiyomiya? Because I love seeing the guy. I love seeing him wrestle. He's so good at what he does, and he's so fair with what he does. He's definitely a great person to mentor under, and a huge benefit to the Noah dojo. So I find it odd that he's in these situations, and he usually ends up in a losing end on these situations. I'm hoping with this match with Kenoh that that's not going to be the case. So from here, we're going to go into match number 2, which was a 3-way tag match that featured the team of HAYATA and Ulka Sasaki taking on the team of Los Copiadores, Dragon Bane, and Alpha Wolf, taking on the Passion Ratels, Jonitsu Ratels, coming back again, Manabu Soya, and Saxon Huxley. And so it was made. Yeah. English is hard. The sun is up. I have no excuse. The Ratels in Ratel gear, both Huxley and Soya coming out with the Inaba headband, with the Yohei handkerchief. No love lost, though, between former Ratel member HAYATA and the other 2 members. Made Melball a little sad. Anyway, we had the Jonitsu, a test of strength with Soya at the beginning, but Soya and Bane resist. We got Sasaki blocking Soya with his feet when he goes for a strike. Looks really cool. It sounds so simplistic, but I'm really appreciating the beauty and the minimalism of the showmanship that Sasaki does. He just does it so. It's hard to describe. It's so good. It's almost an effortless charisma that he's starting to really bank on. So Alpha Wolf wanting to nom his brother and almost doing so, and almost getting Huxley and HAYATA, but they escape. Alpha Wolf nomming on the neck of HAYATA. Afterwards, though, we got our first nom, followed up with a suplex on Huxley, which is quite the feat. We got a double choke slam by Huxley on Dragon Bane and HAYATA, followed by the double passion shake on the rope, wearing my Jonitsu shirt in celebration. So we got Los Copiadores with a rolling Death Valley driver, but Huxley moves for the moonsault follow-up, and glorious chaos ensues. Everybody starts popping off. Everything, everywhere, bodies flying here, there, and everywhere. We got the finish coming with another nom on HAYATA, followed by a double team by Los Copiadores and a tope con hilo onto literally everyone else by Dragon Bane, which leaves Alpha Wolf in the ring to hit that reverse pile driver for the win. I didn't write down on who. I believe it was on HAYATA, if I'm not mistaken. Would make sense. One final nom by Alpha Wolf. And he lets us know after this post-match what I have been saying all summer, what we have suspected. He's hungry. He's hungry. He wants a shot at his brother's GHC National Championship. We gon' get it, apparently. January 1st. If I get the match card, I'll put it right here. If not, we'll talk about it later on a later date when it comes out, and it does get closer to the date. But we have brother versus brother GHC National Championship. I'm going to have trouble with GHC today. I am so tired. I haven't slept since watching the show live this morning. Anyway, official nom count. 3, if we're including the one post-match with Dragon Bane. Technically 5, if we're counting the 2 more that he did on the 2 young boys on the outside. Pick whichever number you want. It's still a good one. So from there, we're going to go into match number 3, which was a Grand Prix first round match featuring Kai Fujimura taking on Junta Miyawaki. This has been a feud that has just been going for some time. I am loving the intensity and the energy coming from both of these guys. So let's just get into it, you guys. Okay, something about Fujimura looked different in this one. Maybe it's because he has like a little bit more of a goatee. His hair is all blonde as opposed to like the dark undershave and the blonde on top. And regardless, I like it. It's a little bit more mature looking for him, which vibed very, very well with the kind of youthfulness of Junta Miyawaki. So there's a big drop kick by Fujimura, followed by a plancha attempt, but Miyawaki moves and then hits his second buckle, plancha to the outside. There's a snap suplex to Fujimura on the outside by Miyawaki. There's a drop kick and a falcon arrow by Miyawaki back in the ring. There's a straightjacket German hold, which just Miyawaki has been just doing those so nicely. 4-2. We got Fujimura and Miyawaki battling in the corner with a headbutt from Miyawaki, but Fujimura fights through it and hits a top rope Spanish fly for 2. Actually, I think it was for 1. I didn't write it down. Either way, he kicked out. The finish, however, comes with Fujimura picking up Miyawaki on his shoulders, like he's like a girl at a concert or something, sitting on the shoulders, transitions him into an emerald flosion for the win, and Kai Fujimura progresses in the tournament over Junta Miyawaki. The what? I'm not mad. I'm not sad. I'm just like, wow, this is very interesting. I love seeing these two with their intensity and just with the constant bickering back and forth. I don't feel that this is the end, but I do feel that this is a really good notch for Fujimura, who has been coming up on the losing end quite a bit in regards to Miyawaki in one-on-one competition. Tag team competition, completely different conversation, but one-on-one, he'd been falling behind a little bit, and this gets him on the board, which I love. Leaves me, though, to question what's going on with Miyawaki. I kind of feel the same way about Miyawaki as I do about Kaito Kiyomiya. What is the direction that we're going with him? Because he's very obviously big crowd favorite. It feels like he's almost like running in place because the losses don't really take him down at all. It's just interesting to see such a facey face that they could really bank off of not picking up more wins. That being said, though, Kai Fujimura is a part of the faciest face faction in Pro Wrestling Noah, so it also makes sense that he would also kind of be in a popular situation. And again, it's nice to see him get himself up on that board after so many losses beforehand. So the next match we're going to talk about was also a Grand Prix first round match featuring the Shuji Kondo taking on Black Mensore. Black Mensore has been pissing Kondo the last couple shows going into this. He and Kondo came in real mad, though. I really love the gear that Kondo came in, very colorful, very like it reminded me of hilariously enough, it kind of gave me like Lisa Frank vibes, just that vivid color fringe, but also very Ultimate Warrior. It was really, really cool. So anyway, Kondo, as soon as the bell rings, hits Black Mensore with an inside-out lariat and goes for a pin, and I was like, oh my god, is this going to be a record match? It was not, but wow. Was it that close to being one? So this kind of launches into a quick little series of reversals where the guys are just going back and forth. Mensore almost catching a couple wins on couple pins on Kondo, leading Kondo to kind of panic a little bit. However, the finish comes very abruptly, very quickly, with Kondo nailing Mensore with a wicked inside-out lariat, and then pinning him for the win. Poor Mensore didn't know what hit him. Probably had to see the replay after that. Didn't not see this result. I feel like Kondo just kind of went through the motions as a courtesy. But yeah, it was really also really, really fun to hear how utterly electric the crowd was. I think they were the loudest for this match in any other match for the night. I was just trying to think of maybe the main event, but no, 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 no. I mean, the celebration for the main event. Yes. But this whole match, as short as it was, the crowd was just not wanting it to end, and I love that. So from here, we're going to go into match number 5, which was another Grand Prix first round match, which featured Alejandro taking on Ninja Mack. So Ninja Mack offering the handshake, Alejandro rejecting it. The frick? Faciest face. What's going on here? So we start off with the Tobe Con Hilo by Alejandro on Mack. And Mack pushes Alejandro off the apron, but wasting too much time. And Alejandro trips Mack and then launches himself back into the ring with the boos of the crowd echoing behind him. Not something, and commentary also made a point of saying this, not something we typically hear. It's the crowd booing Alejandro. In fact, again, like they said, I don't think I've ever heard anybody really boo Alejandro. It's very, very interesting. At this point, I also noticed that there's like a fancy Alejandro in the front row, someone wearing an Alejandro mask, but like a fancy fur coat. It's very fancy. Crossface behind Mack on Alejandro, but he is able to crawl to the ropes. We have a tornado DDT by Alejandro, stopping the flips from Mack, followed by a frog splash for 2. We have what I thought was a code red by Alejandro on Ninja Mack. Then we got the Ninja Special on Alejandro by Mack, which is that like cool backflip into the outside. Whoop. Jump scare. Anyway, the finish comes Ninja Mack going to the top and hitting that wicked ninja bomb for the win. Yes, and yes, I'm so happy for this. I knew this match was going to be crazy high speed just with the 2 participants in it. I hope to see them in tag team action again before and Ninja Mack kind of goes home, just because the talent that these 2 have and the ability to flow so effortlessly together in this just beautiful styling of match that it's so good. So good. Big fan of Ninja Mack, and I'll let you guys know at the end of the show how I'm feeling about the first round of Grand Prix tournament matches. I didn't get out a predictions video, but I will let you guys know what it was that I thought was going to happen at the end, and we'll see how I did. So from here, we had some familiar music pop out, and I was like, oh my god, it's Ozawa. And what in the world? It was Ozawa, but it was like Ozawa wearing the costume of if he was ringing my doorbell at 8:30 a.m. on a Saturday asking if my soul needed saved. It was a little terrifying. He comes out to the crowd, comes out with his little crutch and his little boot on his foot, gets in, makes an announcement that there's going to be an autograph session, and a special autograph session happening in, I believe it was December. I'll put the right date and time and everything here. At first I'm like, why to be excited about this, my dude? And then he hopped out of the ring and I was like, that's why we need to be excited. Because what? That boot. What's that boot booting? That being said, I'm excited because the team has always been such a dastardly team, and with Ozawa at the head of the team, you can't go wrong with a story, and Ozawa is all about the story glory. So whatever he has planned. I'm excited for it. I'm very excited for it. So from here, we're going to go into match number 6, which was a Grand Prix first round match featuring Daiki Odashima taking on the GHC Junior Heavyweight Champion Hiromu Takahashi. I was so excited. So new gear for Odashima, or at least new-ish gear. The red metallic with the little gold accents on it. We got the wrist tape cover. I love it because very much matching his teammate Daga. Let's freaking go. So Takahashi opens with a lariat and like quick pins Odashima, but Odashima says nay nay. Takahashi sending Odashima into the barricades on the outside, punishing him early. We got a camel clutch by Takahashi on Odashima, which he transitions into a gnarly looking chin lock. We got chops back and forth with Odashima hitting a huge drop kick, followed by that big air crossbody press. We got a deadlift gut wrench suplex by Odashima and Takahashi. There's a struggle on the apron with Takahashi trying to powerbomb Odashima off of the apron like he usually does, but he is able to reverse it, and after some more struggle, Odashima actually hits his own sunset flip and powerbomb off the apron on Takahashi. When he goes to retrieve Takahashi on the outside, Takahashi explodes on him with a desperate time bomb, and both men are down on the outside. At this point, the count starts and we get to 19. And I'm okay with that. I used to be very unokay with that because I don't know what it's. There's some companies that love to just bank on that 19 count for cheap excitement, whereas this was the first time in a little bit that it's been heavily emphasized in a match, and I appreciated that. So Takahashi denying the first drop kick, but Odashima backflips through it and hits it anyways. Very impressive, this Odashima. I absolutely love watching him. So, Takahashi with a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, followed by a Falcon Arrow for 2. Odashima collapsing, but Takahashi wills him back to his feet, where Odashima locks on a head and shoulder lock. Hiromu does struggle to get to the ropes and is struggling once he gets there to keep his foot on the ropes to justify the break. The ref keeps shaking his foot off of the rope, or sorry, his hand off the rope very, very easily. So, Odashima hitting a big delayed German suplex to... So the finish here, though, comes with Takahashi hitting the time bomb, but somehow Odashima is able to kick out. Hiromu Takahashi then follows up with a big lariat and the time bomb too, and quite possibly the most perfect looking time bomb too I've ever seen for the win. And that's the last Grand Prix match of the night, and that was my pick to win the tournament being eliminated. I had picked Daiki Odashima to go through on his word, go through the whole tournament, and go to war again with Hiromu Takahashi. Heartbroken. That being said, go Ninja Mack. I'm changing my pick. Well, I'm not changing my pick. I'm altering the course of my pick based on circumstantial results. Yes, we'll go with that. Fantastic match, though. Love seeing these guys in there together. It's always a treat to see what it is that Odashima kind of pulls out the bag in this huge future in professional wrestling. So from here, we're going to go to match number 7, which was for the GHC Tag Team Championships. Team 2000X's Masa Kitamiya and Takashi Sugiura with Yoshitatsu and Tadasuke taking on Hank Walker and Tank Ledger. WWE NXT boys, let's go! As always, I have to mention the perpetual look of disgust on Masa Kitamiya's face is very relatable. So, jumpstart by the team. Oh, are we Are we shocked about that? Not really. Hank and Tank dominating Sugiura, though, hitting a double scoop slam to start things off. There's a double suplex by the team on Walker. Kiyomiya working on the leg of Walker, breaking down the left leg, stomping on it, smashing it on the pole, just doing his absolute most to try to disable it, even wrapping it around the barricade and booting the barricade. Springboard shoulder tackle from Ledger on Sugiura looked really, really good. There's a released German suplex from Sugiura on Ledger. Kitamiya with his bulldog and repeating face slams. I didn't write down on who, but I'm pretty sure it was Ledger. Ledger cartwheeling through Kitamiya's lariat attempt looked really neat. Never thought about doing that. Or at least you don't see it done with someone the size of Kitamiya often. So there was a flying top rope lariat from Walker on Kitamiya. Kitamiya hits a Saito suplex but misses with the follow-up, and Ledger hits a reverse brainbuster. So there's a massive ring-shaking boss man slam by Walker. 4-2 on Sugiura. Sugiura pulls the ref in the way of an incoming Walker to take him out, and the team hit the ring and unload on Hank and Tank. Sugiura nails Walker with a chair, just starts beating the crap out of everyone, as the team does. Sugiura gets the chair lariated in his face, and Kitamiya gets the tope suicida from Walker, and Ledger hits a release slam for 2. The finish comes, you guys, with the collision course from Hank and Tank on Sugiura. We got new champions. WWE NXT boys, Hank and Tank coming in and winning those GHC Tag Team Championships. I have 2 feelings on this. The first is, if you watch any of my videos, you know that I'm not the biggest fan of people coming in and only having 1 or 2, maybe 3 matches and then getting a title opportunity. That being said, I do also recognize from hearing from Astra Pizarro about the history of these guys and her history in taking over, and then seeing these guys wrestle here, it's very obvious why they were tag team champions where they were. That being said, though, I still like the fairness of people coming in and winning against a few more established tag teams before doing the go at the championships. Mind you, I also saw the same thing kind of happen when Omos was here in January, and I wasn't really mad about it then because it made Omos look great. Working with Jack Morris, working with Daga, working with Team 2000X, they really showcased their strengths. And we have been seeing, like, especially in this match with the team, these 4 worked so well together, taking care of each other throughout this match. So I'm not mad about this. I'm actually quite happy about it. What my unsureness is about it, though, is how long are Hank and Tank going to be in Japan, and are they planning on leaving Japan with those championships? That's my problem, because that's what kind of pushed me away from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Is it started pushing a lot of its important titles onto AEW people, and I didn't like how they would take these long vacations of the championships. That being said, though, their current IWGP champion, Konosuke Takeshita, phenomenal choice. Not just because I'm biased to the Alpha, because I think he's an incredible wrestler, but he's also shown a tremendous amount of work ethic, traveling around and traveling back and forth between Japan and the US very, very frequently. Whereas with the WWE, we don't see that nearly as frequently. Could this be the spelling of a change for that, though? We'll have to wait and see. So post-match with the celebration, the guys were super excited. It was really cool to hear Tank Ledger speaking Japanese to the Japanese crowd. Really, really cool. We see the next challengers, hypothetical challengers, come to the ring in Naomichi, Marufuji, and Kenoh, wanting to kind of make their case. We see Masa Kitamiya objecting to that because for whatever reason them losing was the ref's fault. The chairman wouldn't lie, would he? Anyway, so it sounds like we are going to have a number one contenders match between Team 2000 X's Masa Kitamiya and Takashi Sugiura taking on Naomichi, Marufuji, and Kenoh. The winners of that will take on Hank and Tank for those GHC Tag Team Championships. I do have to say, though, there was a little part where I kind of giggled because it did go to Kenoh's face at this point, and it ground his gears. There was one point where Tank Ledger did mispronounce Kenoh's name, and Kenoh, if it pisses off Kenoh, which I hope it did, that we're going to get the most emotional, just unhinged, best version of Kenoh, who brings out the absolute unhinged best versions of the people he's in the ring with. So let's freaking go. As much as I love the team, and as much as I would have liked to see them continue on with the championship, they weren't really doing a whole lot with them, and this was their first title defense, and they lost. So I don't know, maybe they need to reevaluate their team combinations. But I'm still excited to hopefully see Marufuji and Kenoh take on Hank and Tank at a later date. So from here, we're going to go into the main events, which was the GHC Heavyweight Championship match. We have Kenta, the champion, taking on the returning Yoshiki Inamura. Let's freaking go. The build up into this one was very interesting, with both these guys kind of going back and forth, but Inamura is definitely more positive, where Kenta's kind of in his he don't give an F era, which is relatable. That happens when you get to your 40s. So, beginning here, Kenta running Inamura into the barricades on the outside, really trying to target the arms, particularly that right arm of Inamura, because you take away the man's power, what is he going to do? He's going to still hit you just as hard. We got sword hammer strikes by Inamura, followed by a delayed marching suplex and a big senton. We got Kenta trying to tie up the arm, but Inamura picks him up and just drops him. I love those simplistic desperation moves. So kicks from Kenta were mental in this one. Just those high kicks to the chest, they were thudding. And Inamura starts running into the corner and hits a flying shoulder tackle and a lariat, followed by a frog splash attempt. But Kenta does move out of the way and locks on a face lock, covering the eyes of Inamura and really preventing him from seeing where the ropes were. Right when he was about to get close to the ropes, Kenta would reef a little bit harder, pulling him just that little bit more back so he couldn't quite reach it. At the end of this, I'm pretty sure Inamura lost contact because his eyes were being mucked around so much. It was a little mental. So we got a tiger suplex, a psycho knee from Kenta for 2. We got strikes between these guys that were utterly mental, just reddening the chests of these guys. Powerful comeback from Inamura levels Kenta, and Inamura hits the ropes for a huge lariat. So the finish here comes, you guys. Muso, so that what I call the Spiranagi, but it's called a Muso. Followed by that bouncy frog splash by Inamura, and we have a new GHC Heavyweight Champion, Yoshiki Inamura. I had some fun with this match. I was really tired by the time this match was going, though. Let me tell you guys, it was close to 5 in the morning. I was tired, but this match woke me up, got me ready for the gym, which I had to wait another hour to open. But I digress. This was a very, very, very fun match for me. I didn't have kind of any expectations in this one. I love Kenta and I love Kenta being the champion, but I also know that it doesn't take anything away from Kenta not having a title around his waist. He's very much a character in among himself, with or without a championship. So I feel like this will be a great opportunity for Inamura, especially with the door kind of still, I think partially open behind him with the NXT. I feel like this could open up a door back and forth. I would like to see maybe some guys maybe going over also. We've gotten, what, 4 this year? 5 if you count Omos as well. Charlie Dempsey, Harlem Lewis, Hank Tank, Omos. We've also had several guys over before I started watching, which I wish I got to see. I can go back in the archive and watch it on Wrestle Universe, but I'm going to start ranting. Can't have that on this show. That's another show entirely. So, okay, Inamura, thanks, Mr. Kenta. Tells him he's always the best wrestler, and then calls out who he wants to be his next challenger. Kaito Kiyomiya! And we see Kaito Kiyomiya for the 3rd time tonight. I'm not mad about that. What I am, though, is so confused. Because I look at this situation, and this is hypothetically, unless something else comes up in between now and then, whenever then is, because I don't think that they set a date for this yet. Inamura versus Kaito Kiyomiya. Kaito Kiyomiya has had how many title attempts over the last year since losing to Ozawa on January 1st, and he's come up short every single time when it counts. And again, I'm very confused about what this means for Kaito Kiyomiya and what this would mean for Noah. That being said, like, who's gonna be the champion after that one? Do you have Inamura drop the title, the first challenge, Kenoh, Masa Kitamiya Takashi Sugiura? Or are we going to see Inamura retain and the continued confusion of what it is that they're doing with Kaito Kiyomiya happening? Both Inamura and Kiyomiya, I feel, have the ability to take that championship international. We've even had the privilege of seeing Kiyomiya here from, is it MLW, Maple Leaf Wrestling? So we've had the privilege of seeing that. Could we see that open a little bit more for Inamura? Could we see that for Kiyomiya? I'm curious. I'm going to stop rambling, though, because if you want to watch these shows, you guys, I'll leave the link for Wrestle Universe in the description box below. It is 1,298 yen, 13 Canadian, 9 American. It's an amazing price to watch some amazing wrestling. So you don't just get access to pro wrestling, Noah. You get access to DDT. You get access to Marigold. You get access to Tokyo Joshi Pro. You get access to Marvelous. So many more. You got 10 companies total. You can't see that anywhere else. Gotta get on that, you guys. We gotta have more conversation about what's happening over in pro wrestling, Noah. And while we're talking about what's happening, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to OLE, and turn on notifications to be alerted every time we drop a new video. If you want a daily dose of your Melball, you can find me on the X thing at Collins Melball. You can find me on everything else, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Mastodon, and Blue Sky at Melball Collins. I think that's everything, you guys. Next videos coming out are going to be, again, more Noah Unleashed following the Noah Grand Prix Tournament. And we're going to have an episode of Strong Style Fashion coming out, not this coming week, but the week after, where we're going to be going back to the Japanese roots and bringing you guys some new looks of all the Japanese wrestlers that I've got listed. You guys are going to love it. We're going to see some familiar faces. We're going to introduce you to some new cool faces. But in the meantime, I am your Melball. Matane.